Okay, so that first video you guys should have watched, it was like 4 minutes. Should have been on deriving the law of sines, so you can kind of see where it came from. So this is going to be actually putting the law of sines and using it. That was really bad grammar, but you get what I'm saying. So we're going to be using the law of sines and where we're going to use it. So you always use the law of sines on oblique triangles. Oblique means that there are no right angles. So that means we're going to be working with triangles that have no right angles. So last unit we worked a lot with right triangles, and we used SOHCAHTOA and we used Pythagorean theorem. So this time we don't use SOHCAHTOA or Pythagorean theorem because those only work on right triangles. That's why we're using the law of sines. And we're also going to get into the law of cosines, and that's how we're going to solve these oblique triangles that don't have right angles. Okay, so if you remember back, the law of sines is sine of angle A over side A is equal to sine of angle B over side B is equal to sine of angle C over side C. So let's just label this triangle right here. So I'm going to use colors. So let's say that this side right here is my angle A. So the side opposite it, so whatever side I can draw a line to, that is side A. So this side right here is side A. Okay, say this one is angle B. Then I'm just going to draw a dotted line, whatever side I hit, so the one opposite of it is side B. So this is side B. So last, this is angle C. I'm going to draw a line, whatever side I hit, that's side C. And the angles are always capital letters. The sides are the lowercase letters. Okay. So now that you kind of know how to label your triangles, let's look at a couple different oblique triangles that we're actually going to be working with. So we're going to be working with angle, angle, side triangles. So an angle, angle, side triangle, let's just draw a little triangle right here. So let's say that this angle right here is 64. This one is 72. This side, let's just say it's 4. So this is an angle, this is an angle, this is a side, so it's angle, angle, side. That's an angle, angle, side triangle. We have another, so we have angle, side, angle. So if we had 64, a side of 5, then 72, here's an angle, side, angle. So that's an angle, side, angle triangle. And the last one we're going to be working with is side, side angle. So say this was 5, this was 4, this was 64. So this is a side, side angle. So that's a side, side angle triangle. So today, this first day that we're doing law of sines, we're just working with angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle triangles. Okay, so let's look at this first example. So we're given that angle A is 64 degrees, angle C is 82 degrees, and side C is 14 inches. So let's just draw our triangle. So first, draw triangle with your angles given. So I'm just going to draw it over here, kind of out of the way. So here's my triangle. And let's label, make sure you guys can see that. Let's label this, so this is A, B, C. So angle A is 64 degrees. Angle C is 82 degrees. And side C is 14 inches. So that means this side across right here, this is 14 inches. And that's all we know so far. We don't know anything else, so there's nothing else I can label. Okay, I can label that this side is B though, and this side is A. Just a good habit to get into labeling what B and A are. Okay, so we need to solve angle B first. That's the first thing we're going to solve. If we have two angles, you're always going to solve for the other angle. And we know, prior knowledge, that the sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So we're going to use that knowledge to find B. So if we know that's 180 degrees, we can take 180 and subtract these two angles. So we're going to subtract 64 plus 82, because that's those two angles added together, and that will give us this angle if we subtract it from 180. So 180, 64 plus 82 is 146. So this is 180 minus 146. So 180 minus 146 is 34 degrees. Which means that this angle right here is 34 degrees. So I'll just label that 34 degrees. Okay. Now we have to go and find our sides. So when you're finding your sides, that's when you have to write out the law of sines. So we're going to write out the law of sines, and I'll write it right here. And we have to do that with our angles that were given. So if you remember, the law of sines is the sine of A over little a equals the sine of B over little b equals the sine of C over little c, where little a, b, and c are our sides. So let's just fill out all the information we know. So we know that A is 64, so this will be the sine of 64 over, we don't know A, so that's just going to be A, equals the sine of 34 over B, because we still don't know what B is, and then the sine of 82 over, we do know C, so it's over 14. Okay, and we need to solve for A and B. And it doesn't really matter which one we solve for first. So let's just solve for A first. So we need to look at these three. So we have this rational expression, this one, and this one. So we need to look and see which one is going to be most helpful for us to solve for A. So if I set these two equal to each other, then I still have two unknowns. So we're not going to be able to solve for one of those if we have two that are unknown. So I'm going to have to set this one equal to the last one, because then we're only going to have one unknown. So you have to know three of the variables, and you have to only have one unknown. So to solve for A, so I'll write this right here. So we're solving for A. We're going to take the sine of 64 over A. We're going to set that equal to the sine of 82 over 14. And then we're just going to use cross multiplication to get A by itself. So remember, cross multiplication, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to multiply it to that, take 14, I'm going to multiply it to that. So I'm going to get 14 times the sine of 64 equals A times the sine of 82. And these are degrees. And A is still not by itself, so we're going to divide by the sine of 82. So we're going to divide this by the sine of 82, divide this by the sine of 82. So the sine of 82 divided by the sine of 82 is 1, because anything divided by itself is 1, so these cancel. Sine of 64 over the sine of 82, nothing cancels there. These signs cannot cancel out. Do not cancel those out. So we end up with A equals 14 sine of 64 divided by the sine of 82. And this is where you're going to take your calculator and you're going to put this into your calculator. So we need to make sure we're in degree mode. So I'm going to go check. I'm in degree mode right there, so I'm just going to leave that in degree mode. Then I'm going to go 14 times the sine of 64 divided by the sine of 82. And that gives me 12.706. And I'm just going to round to the nearest tenth. So this will be 12.7. So now we know that A equals 12.7. Okay? So now let's just go through and let's solve for B. So when we're solving for B, now we can use this fraction and this fraction, or this fraction and this fraction. I'm still just going to use sine of 82 over 14. Since 14 is a whole number, it makes it a little bit easier to work with. So when we're solving for B, we're going to have the sine of 34 over b equals the sine of 82 over 14. And we're going to solve for b. So again, we're just going to cross multiply. So this will be 14 sine of 34 equals b times the sine of 82. Then again, we have to get b by itself, so we're going to divide by the sine of 82, divide by the sine of 82. Those cancel. These do not cancel because the sine of 34 cannot cancel the sine of 82. Those signs stay there. And so we get b equals 14 sine of 34 divided by sine of 82. We're going to, again, just use our calculator to find that. So we're going to put 14 times the sine of 34 and then divide that by the sine of 82. Enter, you get 7.905, round to the nearest tenth, so that's 7.9. So now we have found b. b is 7.9. Okay, and we can come up here to our triangle and label these if we want to. So that's 7.9, this is 12.7. Okay, so that's how we use the law of sines to solve for these angles. So I was going to do another example. I'll just do another example in class. Make sure you took really good notes on this and make sure you understand this. And if you have questions, make sure you come to class with your questions. And we'll do one more example at the beginning of class, and then I'll just let you free to do all your stuff. Okay, make sure you take the quiz. I'll see you tomorrow.